Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by, well, just a lot of random upcoming news, honestly, so let's just get right into it. So let's start with a quick update on Steven Spielberg's next film. Originally titled The Dish, it now has an updated title called Disclosure. Not a lot is known about the movie, but it is apparently a UFO story, and the writer David Koepp says that it's a two-hander, whatever that means. I don't know if it's going to be two parts or I don't know. But we've been discussing writer David Koepp and his writing lately. So the dude writes a lot and for major directors, but unfortunately, he has not been doing a great job, quite frankly, lately. Just listen to Vincent Daly's latest review of Presents from a couple weeks ago, and also what he kind of has slated for this year, what he's done in the past. He's done some great films, but man, he's also done not some great movies too. But anyway, the Speilberg UFO movie is set to come out May 15th of next year, 2026. It starts filming in just a couple weeks from now. Another upcoming movie is yet another film by Yorgos Lanthimos. This director, and of course this guy, is on a tear lately. After coming out with two films last year, those being Kinds of Kindness and Poor Things, Lanthimos is also coming out with a film this year called Begonia. That is set for November. He also has a project in development, which is an adaptation of a 2018 novel called My Year of Rest and Relaxation. And if that wasn't enough, it is now rumored that Yorgos will be writing and directing a film called Fatal. So it's adapted from a short story by Jean-Patrick Manchette. The novel has been described as an unholy original, and Manchette transformed the modern detective novel into a weapon of gleeful satire and anarchic fun. In Fatal, he mixes equal measures of farce, mayhem, and madness to prepare a rare literary cocktail that packs a devastating punch. So the main character is a female assassin, so we look forward to that role being played by, of course, Emma Stone. Yorgos Lanthimos is a weird guy. He's pretty young. We're just not sure at the Daily Ratings here if we like the whole Ridley Scott-esque releasing pace from him, but we'll see. He's got a lot on the horizon. So anyway, more film news. A new documentary will be releasing on Hulu this March 11th. The doc is called Last Take, Rust and the Story of Helena. So it's about the fatal shooting of the cinematographer Helena Hutchins by Alec Baldwin on the set of that small Western film Rust. And apparently it is about the days leading up to the shooting, the day of the shooting. Some B-roll is in it, and behind the scenes of production on the film. And then also the documentary gets into all the aftermath, of course, that came with it. It's directed by her friend or someone in the industry, another small-time director who was friends of Helena, so it should be in good taste. Just the weird thing is that there's another documentary in the works being made that's also about this, and that one covers kind of the Baldwin side of things. I think he's involved with the documentary, Baldwin, so it's just weird how the story continues and continues to almost be exploited, this whole thing. And actually, the film Rust already came out, by the way. I actually had no idea until covering this news. But yeah, it premiered in Poland at the International Film Festival of the Art of Cinematography, Camera Image. Yeah, it released in November. I think you can buy it now on Amazon and Apple. And it still might get a U.S. release if somebody picks it up. There's been a couple companies interested in maybe picking it up. So on to something not as tragic. We have Magic the Gathering. The famous trade carding or strategic card game is getting a film and TV universe. So get ready. It's already in the works with Hasbro, who owns Magic the Gathering, and Legendary Entertainment coming together to make it happen. Their first project is bringing the game to film before moving on to TV. But Hasbro already has inked a TV deal with Netflix, and the new show will be run by Terry Matalas. He's the same guy who ran the Star Trek Picard show and has written for some of the Star Trek shows on Paramount+. So that show will be awful, unfortunately. And no news on the movie yet, but apparently that will come first before the show. So Hasbro's just keeping it coming. Some actors news now. Julia Roberts will be teaming with director James Gray, who has done The Lost City of Z and that Brad Pitt space movie called Ad Astra. Roberts and Gray will adapt an upcoming novel called Kill Your Darlings. The book comes out this June, but United Artists and Amazon already picked up the rights to make the film. So So the story moves backwards in time, and it's witnessing key moments from a couple's lives, all painting a portrait of a marriage defined by a single terrible act they plotted together many years ago. Production dates right now unknown. Mathew McConaughey is going to star in Paul Greengrass' new film. So Greengrass is the director of 3 of the 4 Bourne films, and his kind of biggest, somewhat recent film was Captain Phillips from 10 years ago. His new film is called The Rage, and it takes place in the year 1381 in England during the Peasants' Revolt, where political tensions were high and farmers and, well, peasants took up a fight against King Richard. So Benedict Cumberbatch was set to play the lead, but no more, because All Right is coming to England in the 14th century, of all things. And by the way, McConaughey's latest film, The Rivals of Uzziah King, is premiering next month at South by Southwest. And I didn't realize this either, but it's McConaughey's first film in 6 years, which I didn't even register to me. I'm shocked at that. 6 years. So hopefully it gets a wider release soon, right after South by Southwest. Director, writer, and producer Walter Hill has a major project update. So Walter Hill has some pretty major directing misses lately, but he did make films like Going Back to 48 Hours and The Warriors in the late 70s and early 80s. He wrote Aliens, the second Alien film. He also produced all the Alien movies, including Alien Romulus. And Hill is very respected by some younger directors. And he's got a film slated now that he's wanted to make for 20 years called St. Vincent. It's about a hitman who poses as a priest to get close to his next target, a disgraced gangster turned FBI informant. It almost got made in 2010 and had the cast lined up and everything like that, but then it fell through. Now it had just been posted that St. Vincent is in pre-production and has a starring cast so far: Samuel L. Jackson, Jim Caviezel, and Al Pacino. So we'll see when filming really starts, but it could be good. Walter Hill is a very interesting guy. You know, Vince at this point has covered a few of his movies on the podcast. And finally, a quick acting rumor here. Denzel Washington might be the new X-Men bad guy, Magneto. Denzel will definitely be in Black Panther 3, and it's rumored that Magneto will appear in that film. And then Marvel has added 2 new movies for 2027. One of those is probably an X-Men reboot. So maybe we'll see Denzel take up that throne. Sir Ian McKellen, of course, played Magneto in the Hugh Jackman original X-Men films. And I didn't know where to put this in the news, but I thought it was kind of cool, so I wanted to mention it. So Warner Brothers just added 31 films for free on YouTube. The films are slightly older, not the most well-known, but they didn't know how to monetize these, apparently, so they're just putting them on YouTube to get the ad revenue. So they're free with ads unless you have ad blockers or YouTube Premium. And they even made a playlist of all the films, so it's easy to find. So you go to the Warner Bros. Entertainment official page and look through their playlist. It's labeled Full Movies Warner Brothers Entertainment. And they're all listed there, and I think they might even add more to that 31 that they released. But some recognizable names like The Bonfire of the Vanities, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, Mr. Nice Guy with Jackie Chan. But most importantly, a so bad it's good film from the Daily Ratings, the Dungeons and Dragons movie from 2000 with Jeremy Irons. So go there, give it a watch for free. It has a 13% on the Daily Ratings, but it's a must-watch, so watch it. It's good. And then just some award winners since 'tis the season. So at the Producers Guild Award, or the PGAs, the movie Anora took home the biggest award, the Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures. And at the Annie Awards, the ceremony specifically dedicated to animated films, The Wild Robot won for Best Feature, and it also took home 8 total awards. The independent feature film that won was Flow, a Latvian animated film that has no speaking in it, and it's about a cat surviving with some friends. But Flow is getting all kinds of critic buzz and actually has a chance to win at the Oscars too, it seems like. So with that, let's jump into the box office for the weekend, folks. So in 5th place, we have Companion, which Vince covered last week. It made $3 million. 4th best was Mufasa, The Lion King, holding in there with $4 million. And that's at $671 million worldwide now. 3rd for the weekend is new action Valentine's Day movie Love Hurts with Ki-Hye Kwan. That made $5.8 million. 2nd was Heart Eyes, the new horror Valentine's Day movie, making $8.3 million. And the best movie of the weekend was once again Dog Man, half dog, half man, and making $13.8 million this past weekend. Overall, not a very strong showing, but Dumpuary is now over because Captain America is coming to save the movies from winter's funk this coming weekend. Coming up this Thursday on the Daily Ratings, Vince will be rating and reviewing Keeping Up with Footwork February, a movie called Stormy Weather from 1943 starring Lena Horne and Bill Robinson. It's a pretty well-received movie, so we'll get into that. We have our David Lynch study that continues with Lost Highway from 1997. So the MPA rating on this is rated R for bizarre, violent, and sexual content, and for strong language, so it sounds pretty Lynchy to me. And lastly, our new release now in theaters is the previously mentioned Love Hurts, the action Valentine's Day thriller comedy with the all-around lovable guy, Kihei Kwan. So stop on by this Thursday to hear those reviews and have some fun with us. And we'll just leave you today with a quote from an actress, Julia Roberts. When I was a child, I had a crush on Abraham Lincoln, and why I would choose to reveal this, I know not. So, okay, folks, thanks for stopping by the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. That was it. See you on Thursday.